Today we're looking at bad combos in Magic the Gathering that actually work. Alright, sorry I don't know who to credit this combo to, but they'll know who they are. We've got the Night Sky Mimic for an Orzhov hybrid in one generic. It's a 2/1 creature, but this creature is going to kill you. How is that? Well, it's got this ability. Whenever you play a spell that's both white and black, Night Sky Mimic becomes 4/4 and gains flying until end of turn. It's going to fly over all those little weenie creatures. Alright, well obviously there's got to be more cards to this. We're going to suit up the Night Sky Mimic with the Edge of Divinity for it's both black and a white. It's using the hybrid Orzhov colors. Enchant creature. As long as enchanted creature is white, it gets +1/+2. As long as enchanted creature is black, it gets +2/+1. So what that means is it's going, because Night Sky Mimic is both white and black, it's going to get +3/+3. But it also gets the ability of being a 4/4 creature. It's going to become a 4/4 and flying. So now we're at a 7/7. You know what we need? We need one more Edge of Divinity. That's right. So we need 2 Edge of Divinities to turn the Night Sky Mimic into a 10/10. And then from there, what we have to do is we finish them off with the Double Cleave. Using a hybrid of white and red and one generic, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. I think you can choose your method of winning from here. For example, I think Temur Battle Rage also works. I don't think it's you necessarily need the Double Cleave, but whatever. Oh, I guess one thing good about the Double Cleave, sorry, you can play it for white. That's right. So you don't need the red. You don't need to splash red. You can be complete white-black in this deck. Actually, you can be just... You can just be... actually, this could be mono-white. It could be mono-black. Actually, you don't need anything. Tommy Sitton says, janky 3-card combo. I like it. Technically 4 cards, because you need 2 of these Edge of Divinities. So if you got any crazy janky combos, this is the show for it. If the combo ever saw tournament play, you're going to be disqualified. Now, while I wait for you guys' combos, we have another one. We got the Rooftop Storm. See, a lot of people looked at this card like it had big potential, but, you know, sorta did nothing. Blue 5 generic enchantment. You may pay 0. That's right, 0 mana, rather than pay the mana cost for zombie creature spells you cast. Sounds nice. The only problem is at 6 mana, you've probably already put your zombie horde on the board. Then we got the Grim Grin Corpseborn, black blue 3 generic for a 5/5 zombie warrior. Grim Grin Corpseborn enters the battlefield tapped and doesn't untap during your untap step. Sacrifice another creature, untap Grim Grin, and put a counter on it. Whenever Grim Grin attacks, destroy target creature defending player controls, then put a +1/+1 counter on the Grim Grin. Now, I think the only important part of this whole card is that you get to sack a creature, and you can untap and put a counter on him. Which is going to be important with the Gravecrawler. So 1 black for a 2/1 creature that can't block. But you can cast Gravecrawler from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. So the idea is, you've got the Grim Grin out, and you've got the Rooftop Storm out. You attack with your Grim Grin, and you make sure that, sorry, no, you don't want to attack with... Don't attack with the Grim Grin, because you can't cast creatures at flash speed. Sorry, okay, you have a Grim Grin out, and then you just repeatedly bring the Gravecrawler back from the graveyard for no mana, sack it to the Grim Grin, make Grim Grin as infinitely as big as possible, and then attack and destroy a creature. And ideally win the game with a, I don't know, million counter Grim Grin. Alright, we got Mr. Deadhead here with the Root Wall. Okay, hold on. How does this work? Okay, we got Root Wall. Wall of Roots. I guess this is the what you're talking about. Plus Luxior, Guide as Gift. Infinite to loop infinite mana. That's not too bad. Okay, so we got Wall of Roots, Defender, put a -0 -1 counter on wall of roots, you add a green mana. Now what does Luxior Guide's Gift say? Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. So as you put the -0, -1 counters on this card, it's going to get a little bit bigger thanks to Luxior Guide's Gift. So you can keep adding as much mana as you want. But hold on. You can only activate this once each turn. What about equipped creature isn't a planeswalker? Okay, so technically you have infinite mana. This is a bad combo. Technically you have infinite mana, but you only get it once a turn. Only once a turn. Very slow loop. Very slow. Do I have a good sound effect for this? I don't. I don't have a good sound effect for this. Very slow. Snail's pace combo. I like it, though. Okay, Almond. Another fun combo is Emery, Lurker of the Loch, plus Mirror and Sky, plus Lotus Petal. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let's go look at Emery. Got our good old friend Emery here, and we need to get Mirror and Spy and Lotus Petal. It's going to be an interesting show today. So we start off with Emery here. Emery says that, you know, costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control, but enters the battlefield mill full of 4 cards. The ability, though, is tap, target artifact creature, choose target artifact card in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. It's a 1/2 creature. Then we got Mirror and Spy. I don't know what this card does. Blue, 2 generic for a 1/3 flyer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may untap target creature. Oh! So what we're going to do, so we have Lotus Petal in our graveyard that we want to bring back. Lotus Petal, 0 mana, tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So you get the Emery out, you go get your Lotus Petal, and when you cast it, the Mirror and Spy says, you know what, you can untap your Emery. Then you sack the Lotus Petal for mana. Emery's untapped. You bring the Lotus Petal back. You could also draw infinite cards with, what's it called? You can draw infinite cards with Mitra's Bauble. Well, I guess you don't draw them. They're very, very delayed, but you get a lot of cards. A lot of cards. I like that combo. That's a bad combo that actually works. And we got the super chat from Uber Shrimp. D-tier commander combo here. Hey, that's what we're here for. We've got Bog Brew Witch, Festering Newt, and Bubbling Cauldron. What is it? A lot of damage and a lot of life. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's see what's brewing from this witch, from this human wizard. Black, 3 generic, 1/3, pay 2, tap, search your library for a card named Festering Newt or Bubbling Cauldron, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So you're going to look for the Bubbling Cauldron, which is 2 generic mana. It's an artifact. Pay 1, tap, sack a creature, you gain 4 life. You can also pay 1, tap, sacrifice a creature named Festering Newt. Each opponent loses 4 life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So here's the Festering Newt. When Festering Newt dies, target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn. That creature gets -4/-4 if you control a creature named Bog Brew Witch. How does this work? D tier. I'm not missing any cards, right? Deal a lot of damage, apparently, and a lot of life. So we search our library for this thing. We can sack a creature. Sack a creature named Festering Newt. Just each opponent. But how do we loop this? When it dies to a creature, that creature... I don't know how to loop this. Search the library for a card named Festering Newt or Bubbling Cauldron. How do we do this? I'm very confused. It doesn't loop. All right, well, it's a okay, well, we'll just call it a combo anyway, because you do technically go get something out. You don't loop, but that's the combo. All right, thank you very much for letting me know. You guys crack me up sometimes. just trying to get back on the track. Okay, so what is our next combo? Devoted Druid and Luxior. That does work. Devoted Druid and Luxior. Devoted Druid says... Tap out a green or put a -1/-1 counter on Devoted Druid and untap Devoted Druid. And then with Luxior, you get infinite mana. Because every single time you put that -1/-1 counter on your Devoted Druid, to untap it, it's going to get +1/+1. It's never going to die. Never seen tournament play, so I'm definitely going to qualify it. Alright, what else do we have? Where are your guys' imaginations? Axebane Guardian plus Freed from the Real. Thank you very much, Diego. Axebane Guardian plus Freed from the Real. So Axebane Guardian is a green 2 generic 0/3 defender. Add X mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool, where X is the number of creatures with defender you control. The wall deck! But the wall deck will be free with the Freed from the Real. Tap so you can it's an aura for a blue 2 generic. Pay a blue, tap enchanted creature, pay a blue, untap enchanted creature. So you get infinite untaps, if I understand. No, you get infinite mana. So if you have you just need enough creatures with defender. It's interesting. We don't see enough I want to say we don't see enough actual, I don't know, every single thing with the defender is a wall. But not, like, I would imagine there should be some humans that have defender. They don't have that very much. Alright, so you have infinite mana and infinite untaps. Matthew with the super chat. Manic Scribe, 2x Fiend Hunter, Lumbering Battlement, Infinite Mill. Manic Scribe. Fiend Hunter. And Lumbering Battlement. We got the Manic Scribe here for a blue 1 generic 0/3. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Delirium! At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, that player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. More milling. Then we got Fiend Hunter. When Fiend Hunter enters the battlefield, may exile another target creature. When Fiend Hunter leaves the battlefield, return that exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. We need 2 Fiend Hunters. I have a feeling the Fiend Hunters are going to Fiend Hunter the Fiend Hunters. Then Lumbering Battlement for a white 4 generic 4/5 Vigilance. When Lumbering Battlement enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-token creatures you control until it leaves the battlefield. Lumbering Battlement gets +2/+2 for each card exiled this way. Hold on. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-token creatures you control until it leaves the battle. Oh, so this is just like another Fiend Hunter, right? So you basically, play your Fiend Hunter. First you play your Manic Scribe, then you Fiend Hunter the Manic Scribe, if I understand this correctly. And then you're going to play your second Fiend Hunter and Fiend Hunter the Fiend Hunter. That is important. And then the Manic Scribe comes back. And then you're going to Lumbering Battlement. You Lumbering Battle... Hold on, how does this work? You Lumbering Battlement... Yeah, Fiend Hunt. You can Lumbering Battlement Fiend Hunter. Oh, I see. You can exile any number of non-token creature you control until it leaves the battlefield. So now at this point, you Lumbering Battlement the Fiend Hunter and the Manic Scribe. You got both of them. Then the Fiend Hunter comes back, hits the Lumbering Battlement. Then both the Fiend Hunter and Manic Scribe come out. They're going to these guys trigger. This Manic Scribe, by the way, every single time it enters the battlefield, it's milling you for cards. Ah, the beautiful. So that both the Manic Scribe and the Fiend Hunter come out. And then probably, I don't know what happens at that. I've lost track, but I understand you're just going to keep looping them by boinging them over and over again. Just keep booping them. You keep booping them. Oh my god, you guys with the super chats are coming in. Thank you so much for the super chat, Boulder. Cauldron familiar Witch's Oven. Actually, that's disqualified. You cannot have seen tournament play. If it's seen tournament play, it's disqualified. That is a tournament playable. We want bad combos. I want bad combos here. Bad combos. We got David here with the super chat. Thanks so much. Lurrus, Kaya's ghost form. Okay, we got Lurrus, Kaya's ghost form, and Phyrexian altar. All right, let's see what's what's coming through the mind of David here. Lurrus can bring back permanent cards that have convert mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Kai's ghost form. Enchant creature or planeswalker you control. When enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. And then we have Phyrexian altar. Sack a creature, add 1 mana of any color. So what you're saying is you want to sacrifice your Lurrus? What would you want to do that for? All right, we're going to figure out this combo, but before we do that, we have to thank our sponsors, starting with FusionGamingOnline.com. My one-stop shop for all my paper Magic needs. I want singles, I go to FusionGamingOnline.com. I'm assembling my modern deck. I've assembled a pauper deck. I'm assembling my modern deck for Magic 30. And what I also need to assemble is deck boxes for them. Deal of the week this week, save 15% off all gaming accessories. Always check in at FusionGamingOnline.com to see what new deal of the week there is. And if 15% off isn't enough for you, well, don't worry. You can get an additional 5% off when you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Saves you money and supports the channel. A double whammy. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. You get to play any deck, any format you want. All right, you want to play with the old cards? You can't do that on Arena, but you can on Magic Online. You can play Modern, Legacy, Vintage, all for one low price for rent that runs on reoccurring subscription. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_B2Q. All right, so back to this wacky, crazy combo. How does this work? Okay, so I understand we can sack things. So you want to sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color. So you sacrifice your Lurrus. Ah, infinite manas. So you sack the Lurrus with the ghost, I guess the Kaya's ghost form on it. Return the card to the... Whenever enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield. So you bring... Okay, so you sack your Lurrus. First you equip it with Kaya's ghost form. Then you use Phyrexian altar, sacrifice the Lurrus. And then Lurrus comes back. And then you can play Kaya's ghost form from the graveyard with Lurrus. And then you can sack... You get to do, I guess do you go anywhere? I don't know if you're going anywhere because you use the mana that you cast with Kaya's ghost form in the graveyard. Because Lurrus is going to come back. And then Kaya's ghost form is in the graveyard. Lurrus brings it back with the mana that you got from the Phyrexian altar. Interesting. I don't know where this goes. Infinite ETB triggers? Or like creature entering the battlefield? Oh, it's going to be a bloodbath with the super chats today. I can just see it. Okay, wait, there's more! Thank you so much for the super chat. Werewolf Pack Leader plus Wings. Werewolf Pack Leader plus Wings of Velis Veil. Oops. Then Pack Leader and Artificial Evolution. On Wings of the... This card doesn't exist. We've got Wings of the Cosmos, and we have Wings of the Guard. What is Wings of the Velis Veil? This card doesn't exist. Or is it Wing? Wing of the... Oh no! You don't have... You gotta give me the exact cards, or we're not... Or is it the aura? Does this work? Target creature. It's probably Wings of Cosmos. Then Pack Leader and Artificial Evolution. Then cast Embiggen for 200 power Flying Wolf. Okay, hold on. If anyone knows the card... Wings of... Oh, it's just Wings of Velis Veil? Wings of Velis. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, then we've got Pack Leader and Artificial Evolution. Artificial Evolution. Change the word human for Brushwag, then activate Pack Leader's ability. Then cast Embiggen. We have Embiggen. My god. Oh, this is a new card. This is a new hot combo on the block. All right, let's look at this from the beginning. We got the Werewolf Pack Leader. When it attacks you, if you attack with creatures with total power 6 or greater this combat, you draw a card. I have a feeling that's not the most important thing. Green 3 generic. Until end of turn, Werewolf Pack Leader has base power and toughness 5/3, gains trample, and isn't a human. Then we've got the Wings of Velisvel. Blue 1 generic. Changeling. Until end of turn, target creature has base power and toughness 4/4, gains all creature types, and has flying. Artificial Evolution. Change the tax of target spell or permanent by replacing all instances of one creature type with another. The new creature type can't be legend or wall. We're going to change human for Brushwag. So we're basically turning this thing to something that we can hit. But it says, until end of turn, target non-Brushwag creature gets +1/+1 for each super type, card type, and subtype it has. Change human for Brushwag? I don't get this one. This doesn't make any sense to me. Does it make sense to you? We've got, okay, so what does this contribute? Okay, so it's like every creature type. I thought this affects the non-Brushwags. Till end of turn, target non-Brushwag creature. Technically a bad combo. I think it's funny. Oh, sorry. Thought I was making comment on this. I don't know if it does anything. Does this do something? If we're changing the creature to Brushwag, target until end of turn, target non-Brushwag. I don't know if this works. All right, well. And isn't a human changes to. Oh, and isn't a. Oh, that's the key to it. And isn't a human changes to and isn't a brush. Oh, so we're using it on Embiggen? Is that what we're doing? Target spell. Gotcha. Okay, so we hit Embiggen. And so it's got Changeling, so it's like a gigantic. Oh, it becomes a gigantic creature. Gets +1/+1 for all the creature types. Except human. Except human. All right. That's a very weird combo. Very weird combo. Okay, we got Barrington. Thanks so much for the super chat. Hardened Scales, Walking Ballista, Rite of Passage. Hardened Scales. This should be an easier one. If one or more counters get put on a creature you control, put that many and +1 more on top of it instead. Walking Ballista. And there's a battlefield with X +1/+1 counters equal to X. And then Rite of Passage. This I don't know. Green 2 generic. Whenever a creature you control is dealt damage, put a counter on it. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so what you do is you have your Hardened Scales out. You're going to remove a counter from Walking Ballista. So you have to make sure your Walking Ballista is at least whenever it's dealt damage. So I think this Walking Ballista needs to be a 3/3. So you remove a counter, ping it for 1. It takes the damage. It's still a 2/2. That's fine. Then it's going to get a counter. Whenever a creature control is dealt damage, it's going to get a counter. But then it's going to get 2 counters because of the Hardened Scale. So you put a counter. You put a 3rd counter on Walking Ballista. Then you put an extra one for Hardened Scales. That's infinite counters. That's infinite damage. That is a great, terrible combo. Then we've got, again, from Burrington. Thanks so much for the super chat. Chatter, Druid's Call, Squirrel Mob, Blasting Station. Chatter. I'm guessing you mean Chatter Storm? You gotta be specific here. Druid's Call. More than one chatter out there. Squirrel Mob. Blasting Station. Blasting Station. Sack a creature. A blasting station deals 1 damage to a creature or player. Whenever a creature comes into play, you may untap blasting station. Squirrel mob gets +1/+1 for each other squirrel on the battlefield. Druid's Call. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, its controller puts that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens onto the battlefield. How does this work? Does this even combo? I don't know if we've got the right chatter. That's the problem. Target creature gets +X/+X. I don't know if we have the right chatter. Maybe it's this one, Chatterfang. Guys, you got to give me the. It's Chatterfang. Okay, thank you very much. Without the accurate name, I have no idea what we're looking at. Okay, so now Chatterfang, Druid's Call. Let's look at Chatterfang for a second. No, actually, I'm gonna get all these cards ready. Druid's Call, Squirrel Mob, and Blasting Station. Oh. Okay, how does Chatterfang work? So we've got Forest Walk. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. So it's like actually hardened scales, but for tokens. So you make that many. You want to make that many counters, you get 1 extra counter. You want to make that many tokens, you get an extra token. I think that's going to be relevant. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, its controller puts that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens into play. Aha! So what you do is you equip the squirrel mob with this because it gets a +1/+1 for each other squirrel on the battlefield. And then we're going to use Blasting Station to sack the squirrels and deal 1 damage to our creature or player. And we're going to choose... And whenever a creature comes into play, you may untap Blasting Station. We're going to choose to damage the squirrel mob continuously, which means we're going to get a 1/1 green. We're going to get 2 squirrels. Every single time we deal a damage, we get 2 squirrels, and we can always sack 1 squirrel to deal another damage to squirrel mob. But it's okay. It's always going to get at least +1/+1. It's going to get +2/+2, then it's going to go down 1. But we're always going to have at least 1 squirrel for every damage that's dealt to it. So that's how it works. So you get infinite squirrels. Infinite squirrelies. Zhao. All right, thank you very much for the super chat. Donate Nefarious Lich plus Boomerang. Donate Nefarious Lich and Boomerang for the Lich win. All right, what are we even donating? What are we donating? Okay, target player gains control of target permanent you control. Nefarious Lich, if you would be dealt damage, remove that many cards in your graveyard from the game instead. If you can't, you lose the game. If you would gain life, draw that many cards instead. When Nefarious Lich leaves play, you lose the game. Aha! So you're going to donate this thing. If it leaves play, they lose. And then you're just going to bounce it back to their hand with the Boomerang. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. That actually is so... It's so simple, but why have this has never ever seen play? I mean, maybe it's a bit complicated to pull off. It's still like a 3-card combo. Thank you much for the super chat, Ink the Sink. You're supposed to write something with that one. Oh, you did. You wrote something. Okay, Elenda. Elenda the Dusk Rose. Ashnod's Altar. And animation module. Today is all about the bad combos, people. It's about bad combos. Okay, what do we got here? Elendra, lifelink. Whenever another creature dies, put a counter on Elendra the Dusk Rose. I have a feeling that's relevant to this combo. When Elenda dies, create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is Elenda's power. We have Ashnod's Altar. Sack a creature, add a bunch of mana. Of course. 2 mana. And we have Animation Module. Whenever 1 or more counters are placed on a permanent you control, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. Oh, we're going to have the mana for that, that's for sure. Pay 3, tap, choose a... I don't think that ability is relevant. So how does this work? So whenever another creature dies, which is going to be probably the servos... we can put a counter on... whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Elenda, the Dusk Rose. And when Elenda dies, create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink where X is Elenda's power. I don't think that's going to be relevant. What is this? Whenever one or more counters are placed on a permanent. Okay, so we have to sack a creature. We need some initial creature to sacrifice. Then we're going to get a counter on Elenda, the Dusk Rose. And we can pay the mana and create a colorless servo, and then we can just do that we can do that for forever. Yeah, we can get infinite counters. So we need some sack outlets. We just need one creature to get the ball rolling. But that does work. David! Caleb Popo, Lurrus always comes back as a new permanent, has no memory of his previous existence. All right, David was willing to super chat just to tell Caleb how the Lurrus thing works. The new Lurrus always sees the board like it's new for the first time. It's a brand new world, born again. A born again Lurrus. Just can keep bringing stuff back from the graveyard. A dog! Thanks so much for the super chat. Oh, you have... Please keep your super chats and your combos together. Niv Magus Elemental plus 0 cost spells. Oh, that's it, huh? Niv Magus Elemental. So you're telling us we got to use our imagination for this. So you just get your Niv Magus Elemental, exile an instant or sorcery spell you control, put 2 counters on Niv Magus Elemental. So you just keep your handful of gut shots, mutagenic growths. I don't know what else is purely free. Noxious Revival. Thank you very much for the super chat and the combo. Did I miss any? There's so many super chats. Oh, I did miss one. We got Jacob here with a super chat. Mindlock Orb. Marilyn of the Morn Song. And Platinum Empyrean. Platinum Empyrean. Oop. Do I not know how to spell platinum? Was it just platinum? How about Empyrean? Empyrean. Platinum. What was I doing? Whatever. Okay, your life total can't change. What's the commander? Commander running Dimir. Alright, you have a Dimir commander. Okay, so we have a Mindlock Orb. Players can't search libraries. So no searching. Players can't draw cards, says Marilyn. And at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life, searches his or her library for a card, puts it into his or her hand, then shuffles his or her library. But then the Mindlock Orb says, nah, you can't do that. Nobody looking at your library. So they're not drawing cards, they can't search the library, so they can't do anything. I mean, that's a combo by itself. And then you've got the Platinum Empyrean. Your life total can't change, so nobody can find a way to, like, break this combo. Interesting. I don't know what the I honestly don't know what the Platinum Empyrean is for. It seems completely unnecessary. But I totally get the Marilyn of the Morn Song and Mindlock Orb combo. But you also can't look for anything. Don't you lock yourself out, sort of? Players can't draw cards. Nobody can search the library either. But your life total can't change, so who cares? I guess you just wait till everyone decks themselves. Okay, we have AS with the super chat. Underworld Dreams. And peer into the abyss. Alright, peer into the abyss. Black for generic. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life, rounded up each time. Ugh. And then Underworld Dreams. Black. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. Oh, that's interesting. To the number of cards. Oh, take all the cards you want. You have a 99 card deck. Well, you're going to take like 45 damage. You're going to take 48 damage. 49? Well, they're going to draw a card. They're going to draw 7 cards. They have like 92 cards left in their deck. You're going to take 46 damage. All right. Right on. Kill them with kindness. Oh, the Empyrean is to win as you don't die, but your opponents do. Okay, gotcha. But I have a combo. It just draws the game out until Maryland drains your opponents. Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot. At the beginning of each player draw, at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life. I forgot about that. So it's just inevitable that they're all gonna die. Just wait it out. 1 turn at a time. Okay, we got Mr. Deadhead, Squirrel Nest, Life Force, Goblin Bomb. Squirrel Nest, Life Force, Goblin Bomb. I got it. We're on the case here. Okay, Goblin Bomb. What does it even do? 1 red, 1 generic. During your upkeep, you may choose to flip a coin. Target opponent calls heads or tails while the coin is in the air. Oh, it's one of those cards. If the flip ends up in your favor, put a fuse counter on Goblin Bomb. Otherwise, remove a fuse counter. Remove 5 fuse counters from Goblin Bomb. Sacrifice Goblin Bomb. Goblin Bomb deals 20 damage to target player. All right, so how are we fusing this thing up? Counter target Life Force, counter target black spell, and this has none of this stuff does anything. You're just trolling me. You do that again, I'm banning you. Oh, sorry, it was life? Sorry at the life? I don't know. Oh, well, okay. Okay, so we're going to move on to a combo. Hopefully that works. See, it has to be a combo that... It can be a bad combo, but it's got to actually work, just like in the title. Spinning Elf combo. Maze of Ith. Forbidden Orchard. I should limit these to, like, 3 cards. Some of these are getting long. But I guess the bad combos get longer. Forbidden Orchard, Argothian Elder, never heard of it, and Rakdos Charm. These people with crap squirrels and crap combos. Hey, a lot of great combos were built on squirrels. All right, so what are we doing here? We've got Maze of Ith, untap target attacking creature, prevent all combat damage to be dealt to it and dealt by that creature this turn. We have Forbidden Orchard. Tap it for mana, your opponent gets a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Argoth Elder says untap 2 target lands. So I guess you can untap your Forbidden Orchard and your Maze of Ith to do something. And Rakdos Charm, exile all cards from target player's graveyard, destroy target artifact. Each creature deals 1 damage to its creature's controller. I think the idea is to get infinite lands, but that doesn't work. Okay, I guess... How do you give infinite tokens, though? Because you only get to tap this once. Once you tap it, you untap these lands. And then that's it. Untap target attacking creature. Yeah, you need another combo piece to untap this. You need something like when something enters the battlefield, untap these, untap the Argothian Elder. The Orchard? That's not infinite. You get 1 token for this thing. Anyway, well, that doesn't work. Doesn't work. Oh, you attack with the elf! Oh, no, it does work. Oh, what a genius. Okay, so we're attacking with the Argothian Elder. Okay, this is crazy. Oh, it's crazy. Okay. You attack with your Argothian Elder. This is what's attacking in the first place. And we're going to Maze of Ith, the Argothian Elder, to untap it. And then, of course, we tap tap the Forbidden Orchard to give them a token. And then because Argothian Elder is now untapped, we get to tap it to untap the Forbidden Orchard and the Maze of Ith. And then we can use Maze of Ith again to untap the still attacking in the attack step, Argothian Elder. Give them infinite creatures and then Rakdos charm them to death. Okay, that does actually work. Sorry about that. It was too big brain for me. It was too big brain. Maze of Ith doesn't remove it from combat. Well, I just didn't know that the creature attacking was the Argothian Elder. No, yeah, it totally works. Hilarious. What a hilarious combo. Okay, what else we have? We have Ellie with 2 Winding Constrictors. 2 Winding Constrictors, a Gemstone Array. And you need 2 floating mana. That's the first time we've had, like, okay, so you can get that mana anywhere you want. Just make sure that you have it from, like, I don't know, Manamorphose or something. Gemstone Array. Okay, pay 2 mana, put a charge counter on Gemstone Array. But you can also remove a gem counter. Sorry, remove a charge counter from Gemstone Array. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And then Winding. And we need 2 Winding Constrictors. Not 1, we need 2. We need the Winding Constrictor army here. Black-green. If 1 or more counters would be placed on an artifact or creature you control, that many of those counters plus 1 are placed on the permanent instead. If you would get 1 or more counters, you get... Okay, so the idea is you have 2 Winding Constrictors. You pay 2 mana to put a counter on here. But then there's 2 Winding Constrictors out, so you get 2 counters. You get 2 extra counters. And then you remove a charge counter to add a mana. Remove another charge counter to add a mana. And you can put a counter on it again, but you get 2 extra counters, so you have infinite mana. Infinite charge counters, infinite mana. Cool. Cool stuff. Mathieu with Azuri's Predation. Beast Within and Radiate. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Okay, Azuri's Predation. So sorcery. For each creature your opponents control, create a 4/4 green Phyrexian Beast creature token. Each of those tokens fights a different one of those creatures. For each creature your opponent controls, you get a 4/4 green Phyrexian Beast creature token. Each of those tokens fights a different one of those creatures. Okay, then. Beast Within. Destroy target permanent. Its controller gets a 3/3 green Beast creature token. Okay. Then we have Radiate. Choose instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single permanent or player. For each other permanent or player that spell could target, put a copy of the spell on the stack. Each copy targets a different one of those permanents and players. I don't know what happens at the end of all this. This seems very complicated to me. So I'm guessing you're going to copy... Oh, are you copying Beast Within? And then you're going to blow up all their creatures into beast tokens. So you have 4/4s that eat up their 3/3s. Ah, I think that's the idea. So you copy the Beast Within for each other permanent. And also you hit all the permanents. For each other permanent or player that spell could target, put a copy of the spell in the stack. Each copy targets a different one of those permanents and players. I guess you have to float all your mana too. But the whole point is your opponents their board is gonna get wiped. Yeah, it's a complete board wipe, one-sided. So you blow everything up into 3/3s. You have a bunch of mana floating. Play your Azuri's Predation, and then for each other creature your opponent controls, you get a 4/4 that's going to fight the 3/3s. Your 4/4s are going to win, and they got nothing, and you got 4/4 Phyrexian Beasts on the battlefield. That's a neat one. That is a cool one. All right, JWJ with the super chat. Heartless Summoning plus Altar of the Brood plus Mere Retriever. I feel like I've heard this one before. But we'll show it anyway, because you super chatted. Altar of the Brood. And the Mere Retriever. To retrieve each other, because that's what they do. That's what they do. Mere Retriever. When Mere Retriever dies, return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. You need 2 of them, so you You can do it, they can bounce off each other. You have 2 Mirror Retrievers. Altar of the Brood. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So you can basically mill them out. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Creatures you control get -1/-1. So you just play 1 Mirror Retriever. It dies. It brings back the other Mirror Retriever to your hand. But you can play it for free because it costs 2 less to cast. So you basically you have infinite Mirror Retrievers, infinite mill. Infinite possibilities. Thank you very much for the super chat. We got Brendan with a huge super chat. Hey, Nikachu, normally a lurker and love the streams, but today you're gonna break your lurking virginity with Exquisite Blood, Sanguine Bond, and Drana's Emissary. Usually people don't have anything beyond Sanguine Bond and Exquisite. So this is your way of the worst version of this combo. I love it. All right, so how does this work? So Drana's Emissary, flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Aha, so that's the trigger. And we all know that whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Okay, so whenever you gain life, at the beginning of your upkeep, they lose 1 life and you gain 1 life, and that you just need any one of these. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. What a beautiful way to trigger the combos. Beautiful. Monkey Imp with the super chat. Thanks so much. Stuffy Doll or Brash Taunter. We'll go with Stuffy Doll. I like Stuffy Doll. And Pariah with Guilty Conscience. You technically need only 2 of these. I think these are like 2 combos stuffed together. All right, we got the Stuffy Doll. Is another piece? No. Okay, Stuffy Doll, 5 mana, indestructible. It's not gonna die. It's not going anywhere. Enters the battlefield. Choose a player. When you're chosen, you know you're dead. Whenever Stuffy Doll is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to the chosen player. And also, you can tap it to deal 1 damage to yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Why are you hitting yourself? Then we have Pariah. All damage that would be dealt to you is dealt to enchanted creature instead. So you're protected. People go in for the attack, blast you for a bunch of damage. It's going straight to the Stuffy Doll and then straight to the player that it named with Stuffy Doll. And then we got Guilty Conscience. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, Guilty Conscience deals that much damage to enchanted creature. Hold on. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, Guilty Conscience deals that much damage to enchanted creature. So it just, oh yeah, it repeats the infinite amount of damage. So you dealt damage, Stuffy Doll. We're going to damage you again, which means you got to be dealt more damage, which is going to damage you again. Oh, sorry. Whenever it's dealt damage, it's going to be dealt damage to the chosen player. Hold on. Wait a minute. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, Guilty Conscience deals that much damage to enchanted creature. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage. I think it goes infinite, right? It goes infinite on just the Stuffy Doll itself. Whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to a player. But also whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to this creature. Deals damage not dealt. Pretty sure this is a 2-card. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage. Oh, right. That's right. When it deals damage to them. Enchanted creature deals damage. So you deal damage to the player, then it's going to deal damage to itself, which is going to deal damage to the player again. That's right. That's how this works. Beautiful. Beautiful combo. You got it all works out. Alright, we got Swiss here. Trying to get my attention with the Traumatize. Consuming Aberration. If you can make that card work. An Altar of Dementia. Nope, this is not it at all. Altar of Altar? Oh, I think it's Altar of Dementia. There we go. Altar. Yeah, of course. Altar of Dementia. Of course. Okay, Altar of Dementia says sack a creature. Target player puts a number of cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power from the top of their library into the graveyard. But then we also got Traumatized. Target player puts the top half of his or her library rounded down into their graveyard. And Consuming Aberration says its power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. Whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card. Then put those cards into their graveyard. What are we sacking here? This thing? I don't get it. Okay, target player puts the top half of his or her library rounded down into his or her graveyard. That's half. How does this combo work, if it works at all? Josie says, yes! Says Josie. You sacked... Oh, so we are going to sack our Aberration. So you sack the Aberration... Target player. Oh, yeah, and it's equal to its power. So we're making a big, beefy, consuming Aberration. So whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards on the top of their library until they reveal a land card. And its power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyard. And you're going to put half of them down. So Traumatize gets the first half. And then Consuming Aberration will be basically as big as all those cards. It's equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. Maybe even bigger, because you have a lot of people at the table with a lot of cards. And you sack the creature, and then you get rid of the other half. That's how you mill in Commander, people. That's how you mill in Commander. Nasty little the nasty little mill combos. They won't know what hit them until they got hit. All right, we've got more super chats. We've got this one. We've got the Taters, Oblivion Ring, Barren Glory, World Purge, Disc Hand. Oblivion Ring, Barren Glory. You can get all your combo cards at Fusion Gaming Online, by the way. If you're loving these combos, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. World Purge. I assume it's just called World Purge. Discard your hand. Okay, so what do we got here? Oblivion Glory. Enter the battlefield, exile another target permanent. When it leaves the battlefield, return an exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. I guess we're going to hit the Barren Glory. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control no permanents other than Barren Glory and have no cards in hand, you win the game. Oh, this is one of those trying very hard to make work cards. And then World Purge. Return all permanents to their owner's hands. Each player chooses up to 7 cards in his or her hand, then shuffles the rest into his or her library. Empty all mana pools. If you control no permanents other than Barren Glory and have no cards in hand, you win the game. So you have to discard your hand somehow. Return all permanents to owner's hands. Each player chooses up to 7 cards in his or her hand, then shuffles the rest. Empty all mana pools. Okay, so I see. So you choose your way of discarding. This is where one with nothing comes in. So just discard your hand with the one with nothing. It's $1.50, and you win with your World Purge. Turn all permanents, but you got to keep this one in play. You got to have a lot of floating mana. Oh, I see. You Barren. I get it. So you Barren Glory. You Oblivion Ring the Barren Glory. So you go, it's tucked away. It's all tucked away down there. And then you play the World Purge, bounce everything, including the Oblivion Ring. And Oblivion Ring says Barren Glory comes back, and that's the only thing that's left in play. I just have one thing to say. Make sure you don't die by your next turn, because everyone's going to attack you. Everyone's going to attack you. They're all going to come after you in a really nasty way. Oh, they choose up to 7 cards? So you can actually just shuffle it all? Each player chooses up to 7 cards. Oh, so you can just shuffle it all. So you don't discard your hand. No discarding necessary. Just put it all back. It all goes shuffled back into your deck. That's a cool combo. I like that one. All right, we got another super chat. We've got J-Boy. If you use Words of Wisdom, Suppression Field, and Chromatic Sphere, you can trigger grant your ability to itself. Words of Wisdom, Suppression Field, and Chromatic Suppression field? Oh. And chromatic sphere. Okay, you can trigger a grandeur ability to itself. I have no idea what that means. Okay, words of wisdom. You draw 2 cards, then each other player draws a card. Fair. Activated abilities cost 2 more to play unless they're mana abilities. Sacrifice chromatic sphere, add 1 mana of any color, draw a card. I have no idea how this works. If you use words of wisdom, suppression field, chromatic sphere, you can trigger a grandeur ability to itself. Draw 2 cards, and each player draws a card. Am I missing something here? What does this do? And Infinity says, so many super chats. How are all these people affording this? How do people afford Magic the Gathering? Wait, I got the card wrong. It was a blue enchantment. Well, super chat again later. Okay, so this combo don't work. You gotta have the right cards. You're just gonna confuse me. Some combos are so bad they just don't work, period. Okay, so is there another big super chat? No. Next one was here. We got Zazo. Plenty of money. Isochron Scepter, Orm's Chant, Simple Lockdown. Alright. Oh yeah, it's the simple things in life. So Isochron Scepter. Every new player's dream, just not let anyone play anything. Orm's Chant. Great in one-on-one. Simple yet, well, I would say it's pretty bad. But this is what it's all about. It's all about bad combos that actually work. Target player can't play spells this turn. So you put that on the Isochron Scepter. You may exile, when it enters the battlefield, you may exile an instant or sorcerer, or in an instant card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your hand. And you can pay 2, tap, copy the exiled card. If you do, you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So you basically just, wait, oh, it's your turn? Okay, you can't play spells this turn. No, not this turn. Not next turn. Never gonna happen. Frosty, thank you so much for the super chat. Fractured Identity, 9 lives, Patriarch Scorn. Fractured Identity. Take a swig of my coffee here. 9 lives. And Patriarch's Scorn. So this video could also be, do you know how these combos work? Patriarch's Scorn? Patriarch's Desire? I don't know what it is. There is no Scorn. Maybe Patriarch Scorn. There's no Scorn. There's no Scorn. You gotta be very precise, people, with these you gotta be very precise with these. Otherwise, I don't know what the combo is. Okay, if you can guarantee, let me know later what the combo is, what the missing card is, I'll put it back up. Alright, so we've got Tetra with the super chat. Thanks so much. Bishop of Wings. We've got Kikar, Wind Fury. Oh, an Arcane Adaptation. This is gonna be crazy. Naming Angel. Went crazy when it was standard in Magic the Gathering Arena. Sack a token to Kikar, or Kicker, Bishop triggers. Okay, so we name Angel. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. Same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards that you own that aren't on the battlefield. So the idea is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, and they're all going to be angels? Sack a spirit, add a red mana. Whenever an angel enters the battlefield... Oh, I see. So whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life. Whenever an angel you control dies, create a... So this becomes an angel. Angels enter the battlefield, you're going to constantly gain 4 life. Whenever an angel dies, create a 1/1 white... Well, angel which you can sack. So you gain infinite life here. You gain infinite life. Beautiful. That's actually cool. That's a cool one. Did we get the missing card from the last super chat? I don't see it. I don't see Frosty replacing the card. All right, so that we go into... Oh, we go into the new super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. But wait, there's more. Okay, we have Exterplate Bloodghast. Pull from Eternity Bloodghast. Oh, you mean Expertate. Expertate. You know, when you guys super chat, you got to give me the exact name. Oh, no, Exterplate? It's Expertate, right? Yeah, Expertate. Pull from Eternity. Pull from Eternity. And then land. Now you have to wait for more pull from Eternity instead of Ghast. What does this do? Okay, hold on. We have Bloodghast. We're gonna delay this show a little bit more so we make sure we get this. Now you have to, okay, hold on. And then you just need a land, you say? Okay, so we Bloodghast. Sorry, we expertate the Bloodghast from the graveyard. And we pull from Eternity. Put target face-up card that's removed from the game into its owner's graveyard. Then you play a land. Then it comes back. I don't get it. Oh, hold on. Put target face-up card that's removed from the game into its owner's graveyard. Now you only have to wait for more pull from Eternity instead of the Ghast. Oh, you mean instead of drawing Bloodghast, they're all there in... So what you're telling me is they're all sitting there in exile instead of being in your deck, is what you're telling me. So as you draw more pull from Eternities, you pull from Eternity the Bloodghast. So for you expertated all the Bloodghasts. This is terrible. It works though. So you're gonna, okay, you have a Bloodghast in the graveyard. You're gonna expertate all the Bloodghasts from not only the graveyard, but also your deck from the game. Then you're gonna pull from Eternity them one at a time. So you just have to draw pull from Eternities and get your Bloodghasts back. Okay, so it was Words of Wind, then you bounce and discard. Oh, you're talking about your other combo. Oh, gotcha. We have Quill Spike and Devoted Druid. Quill Spike, Devoted Druid. Yeah, add a green, put a -1/-1 counter on this thing, but you can remove the -1/-1 counter on it, and it gets +3/+3 until end of turn. You got infinite mana. We have Fractured Identity, 9 lives. Oh, Patrician Scorn. Frosty, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you guys so much for your super chats. Okay, so we've got the missing link. Patrician Scorn. Okay, so this is where we had this Fractured Identity, 9 lives. Thank you very much for getting back to us, Frosty. Frosty the Ghost Man. And Patrician's Scorn. Sorry for the wrong, no problem. You fixed it. All right, I'm making the stream stretch a little bit more just for you. Patrician Scorn, white 3 generic. If you played another white spell this turn, you may play Patrician Scorn without paying its mana cost. Destroy all enchantments. 9 lives has hexproof though, and if a source would deal damage to you, prevent that much damage and put an incarnation on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more incarnation counters on 9 lives, exile it. When 9 lives leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. Well, that's not good. And Fractured Identity. Exile target non-land permanent. Each player other than its controller creates a token that's a copy of it. So the idea is you... when 9 lives leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So the idea is you want to exile target non-land permanent. Each player. So you're going to... But how do you not die? Exile target non-land permanent. Each player gets a copy of it, but it would leave the battlefield. If a source would deal damage to you, put that again. What does Patrician Scorn do again? If you played another white spell this turn, you may play Patrician Scorn without paying its mana cost. Oh, exile 9 lives. Okay, so we exile the 9 lives. Then everyone's gonna get a 9 lives. And the death trigger is gonna go on the stack. So that is a trigger. When it leaves the battlefield, trigger. Oh, this is a cool one. And then this gets played for free because we already played a Fractured Identity. So, and then you play, it's instant speed. If you played another white spell this turn, you may place Patrician's Scorn without paying its mana cost, destroy all enchantments. So with this, your death trigger on the stack, this death trigger goes on. They get their 9 lives. You blow them all up. Their trigger now goes on the stack, and it has to resolve first. That is genius. Okay, we're gonna end the stream off with this one. Malira's Sylvok with, what's it called? Lichanthrope. Thank you very much again for the super chat, by the way. What does this do? Green, 3 generic, 5/5 for each 1 damage delta. Lichanthrope, put a -1/-1 counter on it instead. But do you know what? During your upkeep, remove one of these counters from Lichanthrope. But we're never going to get -1/-1 counters. So it's going to get... I don't know what you do with this. You do nothing. But it's never going to take damage. So that's the combo. All right. I'm sure you guys love this one. So great show. If you love the show, you give it a thumbs up. And thank you for being here today. And if you want to be part of the show, contribute your combos and your ideas. You got to be here at 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday to Friday. We're always here. And thank you very much for your super chats. I appreciate it. Shows your appreciation and make sure that I do this every single day. And also thank you everyone who's become a member of the channel. But thank you everyone who shows up today, because you guys are the show. Without you guys, there would be no show. Where would I be without all of you? So I appreciate every single one of you being part of chat, always being part of the action. So keep brewing up those coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at